Happy Friday, everybody. It's hashtag FAQ Friday, and cash flow is a bit of a problem. So I thought I'd get on here and just give some top tips. But the biggest thing that I've known in all businesses, and when I helped hundreds of businesses in the pandemic to come from being in the face of bankruptcy, liquidation, to turning them into a successful business and helping and supporting with exit strategies, the one thing that every single one of them in that situation did not have is they did not know their numbers. So that's the number one priority for every business owner. You must know your numbers. If you're managing a business, you must know your numbers. That is the key element of running a business. Because you can't manage what you can't measure. So really be aware of that. Positive cash flow is caused by an inflow of money exceeding the money that's going out. It makes sense. But you've got to be really clear that you know your cash flow, because you may have a highly profitable business, but if you've not got a positive cash flow in your business, what potentially could happen is you could go under. A lot of businesses that I just mentioned in the pandemic had a real problem because they'd been spending the deposits of some of the guests who hadn't actually stayed at that particular point. So when you are getting deposits for anything in your business, put it in a different bank account. Do not spend it. Do not use it until your guest has been. It's got to be put elsewhere. But you've got to make sure that you're bringing in more cash than you are spending, and have a very clear strategy to monitor your finances on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and a monthly basis against your budget or your forecast. And I help businesses to be able to do that so that they're very clear on the numbers that they are working with. Always avoid big expenses and don't allow debts to build up. If you've got a big debtor, make sure you are on top of it and you've got a payment plan of some description, because that cash flow can be affected massively and they could take you under. It's really important. A lot of large businesses, and it is quite a high percentage, large businesses that swallow up small companies and actually take them under because of that element alone. If you have bad debtors, really be very careful, be very responsible for how you manage that. I have actually taken clients off my books in the past because they've not paid on time, because it could take you under, and that's not what businesses are about. So if people value you and you have a good working relationship, it's really important that you continue to maintain that by being paid on time. And you might have a great working relationship with them. You might love what you do with them, but it is really important that you don't end up with a big debt at the end of it, because to stay in business, you've got to have a positive cash flow. Great to have a high profit, but you've got to have a positive cash flow. So that's really important. Review your pricing. If you're spending more than you're actually earning, that is a problem. You won't stay in business long. So review your pricing, but obviously have it very clear what your value proposition is. And review your customer contracts and review your supplier contracts. If your customer contracts are 30 days, or in the construction industry it's 60 days plus, and then your supplier contracts are actually 14 days, you've got a real problem with cash flow. And if you've got that issue, then certainly speak to finance options. There are finance options out there to be able to help and support you, but try and make sure that you haven't got that problem. Put systems in place so that you are clear on who's paid on time, who's not. If you've got long-term bad debtors, get them paid off pretty quick, and start charging interest if they haven't. But that needs to be in your contract. So you've got to get your contracts right, get a legal expert to be able to help you. Be mindful of spending and investing. Create a cash flow statement. Cash flow statements are really important, and forecast regularly, and review ongoing expenses regularly. If you're the amount of businesses I speak to and they've got subscriptions and they've no idea what they're for, make sure you know what your expenditure is. Reduce it where possible. If you've not got the income coming in that's more positive than the expenditure, then certainly start trimming that away. Create an emergency budget to accommodate unexpected expenses. I get a lot of my clients that have accruals in their budget so that they know if there's any problem whatsoever, any issues that potentially could come about, then they are covered. So I hope that's helped and supported you. That's just a small element of what we talk about in my cash flow course in my business, but I help and support businesses to achieve positive cash flow and be a successful business moving forward. So happy Friday, everybody, and happy weekend. All the very best. Take care. Bye bye.